Let's see if it's working. Let's see if we got sound. Hello, everybody. I hope you can hear me. I hope I'm live. I'm going to check here real quick. I hope I have internet that doesn't make me look like Minecraft, but we're going to find out very soon here. Hey, that's me. All right. So I hear things. It looks decent so far. We'll see what happens there. But yeah, so today is just kind of, I've been making a lot of stuff this last week. I was hoping the mail would be here by now because I've got pieces to finish up Syphil, which are probably like a block or two away. They just haven't gotten here yet. Like some Mondays, they'll be here at 9:30 in the morning. Some other Mondays is like 1:30, 2 o'clock, or, it's up in the air. But the rest of the week is like 9:30 consistently. So yeah, there's that. The Thanos said, yeah, I got it right here. I've changed where I put my webcam, the laptop this time. So it allows slightly easier access to things on the shelf. But yeah, there he is. Yeah, Aquamike, it's all because of you, dude. That thing came together quick, yo. Like, you planted the seed in my head, and it just kind of stuck there. So, like, an hour after the stream, I was playing a video game, and then I was just like, well, how would I do that? And then I'd have to start with the chin. So I just started cobbling together the chin, and then I just kept, like, needling away at it, like, all day until I got it. But, yeah, it turned out all right, I think. Yeah, see, for the eyes there, I went putting a helmet on. No, I'm not a fan of helmets on Thanos. Thanos traditionally back in the day wore more of a cowl, kind of like Batman, but it was all like integrated. So it's kind of a smoother type thing. And that's the Thanos I grew up with and loved. So, I mean, bald Thanos works with me. If I had enough gold to make a helmet for Thanos, I'd probably make something else, just because that gold is... Like, you get all of it together, and it looks really nice. Hey, Matthew, what's going on, yo? Yeah, just taking a look at some things I built this last week, and maybe getting into something else to build here. I've got everything pretty much within reach, so I'm not going to have to go too far out of screen to get something unless Nora gets crazy. If I get the gauntlet, maybe. I mean, I've got a pretty good amount of gold right now, but it would make more like a crown for him. But I mean, I've also got the Monkey King mech here. But I mean, there's no way I'm not going to put that together and sacrifice the gold for something else. But I don't know. Will I get the gauntlet? Maybe not right away. But I know that when I get it, I'm going to change the gems around to the classic comic book configuration, which places the soul gem at the center, but the soul gem is a different color in the comics. The soul gem is green, and there's a whole lot of stuff behind soul gem, but we're not going to go there. But yes, Daily Bugle. Next week Monday, I should be building the Daily Bugle live in a marathon stream here, so I'm going to be trying to start like at 8 a.m. kind of like I did with Ninjago City Gardens when I first started doing this. So I want to like start at 8 a.m. and I want to build the entire thing in one go. And I mean, it's a skyscraper, and I've looked at the builds on it, especially the curtain wall areas of it, which is just the sheer glass going up, and that's going to go together pretty quick. So I'm thinking, I mean, and with all the minifigures in there, you got to think they count each minifigure as what, 3 pieces. So I mean, and that's not including like tentacles and stuff coming off like Carnage or something like that. So, I mean, for 25 figures, that's 75 bits right there that are just minifigures. So it's going to be, all right, save those dolphins, Aquamike. I'll be here. Check back later. There's probably going to be more sea-related stuff in the stream, so good times. But, yeah, Daily Bugle, next week, Monday, I'm starting at 8 a.m. Eastern. So that's going to be, 5 a.m. Pacific. And... Oh, what would that be in the other way? Be like what? 1 p.m. 1 p.m. UK time. So, somewhere around there. It's going to be a blast. I'm really looking forward to it. I've been looking forward to it for a while. Once I get it built, I'm going to have to do some rearranging in the city behind me. You see, because I kind of want it to go in this area here, and the area that's prime for expansion is over here by the by Wayne Manor. So you see, I've got Wayne Manor and then the little cove there. The cove is going to have to get like seriously rearranged. I need to figure out a little table that'll take up one more base plate going right to the wall, but I got to figure that out. So I can do some scooting on that. A lot of the Wayne Manor is going to be restructured so that I can use most of the guts for that to create an additional bit of subway type area right next to that. That's going to be underneath the Bugle. And then right across from the Bugle, once I get that all set up, I want to have the subway entrance. So it'll be like a little thing you can walk down, and subway's going to get set up. So yeah, there's a lot that's going to be hinging on that. And then once I do get it, it's just going to kind of chill over here next to the gardens until I get that all set up. So yeah, this is stuff that's going to be coming up in the next couple weeks here. I want to get kind of moving so I can get my room more situated and everything kind of in order, because it's chaos behind me right now. You can see, like, I got a random big blue cube out in the middle of nowhere with a cyber drone on top of it. I got helicopters strewn all over the place. I got Ollie over here talking into the mic. I got the classic Batmobile, which needs a home, so I'm going to have to turn the Batmobile into a 2-car garage. And I kind of want to get a Bat bike in there, too, because, I mean, the tendency when you go for a Bat cave is to push it as far as you possibly can. And with all this new real estate I got, I'm excited to see what kind of layouts I can come up with. So I'm going to start sketching out some things and see what pops into my mind, and we'll go from there on that. But, yeah, so some other things I've been up to this last week, because it's been kind of a busy week. One thing I just kind of threw together yesterday, and the reason I threw this together is because we were in the Tricky Brick stream. I was kind of in and out of it because I had a guest at that time. Yay, vaccinations. And yeah, so there's that. And so I kind of tuned out in the middle of it, so I got to go back and rewatch like the center bit of the Tricky Brick stream. But Joe Marbella mentioned something about having a Pete's Dragon, petitioning Lego for a Pete's Dragon. And I mean, you could do an Elliot like in the flesh, but you could also do like an invisible Elliot, right? Like you could take a picture of just the kid standing there, Pete, and with nothing next to it, just like a big empty spot, and say, boom, there's Elliot for you. So I mean, you could fudge it a little bit that way. But I mean, and I've thought of actually trying to build out of clear an Elliot. And so I've Joe Marbella mentioned that, and then I just started fishing out all my clear pieces to see if I could come anywhere close to that. And of course I couldn't. I've got nowhere near the clear pieces I would need to do something like that. But I was funking around, you know, I had all the clear pieces out, and I was like, Wonder Woman doesn't have an invisible jet yet. Can I make some kind of an invisible jet? So I give it a shot. And I mean, I'm not happy at all with the wings. That's just kind of a serious compromise there. But, you know, it's got skids to keep it upright and keep it from tipping back. I got these Technic pin windows here that are just awesome, and I really wanted to use them somewhere. So, I mean, this is just a little kind of a sketch for it. But it's got that crystalline look to it. It's kind of funky, kind of fun. And then I believe that's like a Mars mission or Mars... Some kind of older space theme that was like late 90s or 2000s that kind of was all right, but like you sent people through pneumatic tubes and stuff. So yeah. Anyway, that's what I'm using basically for the seat cockpit part. So she's just kind of dangling down there. But yeah, so I did this little thing for her, and it's got kind of blasters on it. I mean, I'm not a blaster person, but I mean, it looks cool, right? So yeah, there's the invisible jet for what it's worth. And I don't know if I'm going to keep it together. It's just a fun little thing to sketch. But it's kind of a little bit in the way. And as far as air vehicles, spaceships, and things like that go, don't have a lot of room for them, unfortunately. I'd love to have like all kinds of airspace that I could work with. And I mean, technically I could if I hang them from the ceiling. Hey, what's up, Cowboy Cornado in the house? What's going on? So yeah, just trying to catch up on what I've been doing this last week. I've been a little bit slightly busy, working with things, moving bits around and sorting, a lot of color separating, fine tuning the Nautilus. I've got it down to where I just need that one piece to come in from Iceland now. And it's got tracking on it, and it says it was shipped from Iceland, but that's the last information I got on that. So that single little piece is all I'm waiting for for the Nautilus to be done. We'll take a look at that in a minute. Also, I used to be fairly handy with a knife. Like, I was just a bad mofo when it came to chopping up anything, because that was like my job for many, many years. But like with the whole pandemic thing, like, I haven't been wielding a knife for a while because Tiffany has been like making most of the food because she's been listening to this true crime podcast, and like she's just like hooked on it. So any opportunity she has to like just set aside things and do that podcast, she's done it. So any chopping has pretty much gone out of my hands for the last year. So this last week I was going down on some mushrooms, making some omelets. And sure enough, got a new knife set for her birthday, and I sharpened it even before I did the thing, just because I was like, hey, we got a sharpener, cool. Yeah, right through my index finger a little bit there. So, yeah. So if you do something, practice is important, and keep up with it because, yeah. Yeah, international shipping is going better these days. Yeah, I've gotten a couple things from Minifigs ME in UK because they make custom Doctor Who figs that are just like spot on and awesome. One of them, where are you at, Doctor? There we go. I may have told this story on here. I can't remember if I did. So we got Dr. Tennant here. So anyway, I gotten 3 doctors. So 6th Doctor, Colin Baker, the 13th Doctor, so Jodie Whittaker, and this guy right here, David Tennant. And I ordered them from Minifigs ME in UK. And awesome company. These prints are great. They're not quite the same as Lego prints because they're a little bit more raised, so they're more textured, and you can see it pick up there a little bit in the light. But anyway, my first order for these went through. It took maybe 3 weeks, and I got it. And then somehow the piece of mail got mangled in the shipment, and I think it was on the US side because they said, "Oh, it's our bad." They put it in a little envelope. Apologizing, really, and that's it. But the 10th Doctor was missing. The other 2 doctors came through. So there's a David Tennant running somewhere through the U.S. Postal System sorting areas, going just wild. Colin Baker, yeah, Colin Baker, Doc. Colin Baker's the dude. He's got that little black cat pin and like the hair, right? And I mean the suit. The suit is awesome. Plus, like his attitude, and like Perry was one of my favorite companions. Capaldi is fun. Capaldi is fun as all get out. I think Capaldi channels like some like Doctors 1 and 3 really strongly, and I think that's kind of sweet. But yeah. So anyway, I got they sent me a replacement 10, and so he came in the mail pretty quick. He was here in about a week and change. So yeah. So it's improving. So like that's why I'm kind of excited. I don't know when it's going to show up or if the tracking is going to pick up when it gets stateside, or who knows what's going on there. Yeah, an American companion, Perry. God, she has a very long and tough to pronounce first name, so they shorten it to Perry. Peregrine or something like. Anyway, she's awesome. She's crazy. She's a kind of a good foil for the Doctor. And then of course, after that Doctor goes and the next one comes along, then we eventually get Ace, who is just awesome. Like, she's running around with a baseball bat. She gives, like, she doesn't even care. She's Perry Gilliam. There we go. Perry Gilliam. Thanks, Doc. Yeah. But yeah, so, and now I got to get the 5th Doctor because I need celery in the lapel. It's just a thing. That and cricket. I mean, you got to keep it cricket. So yeah, where else was I going this week? So yeah, hopefully we get that piece from Iceland soon. If not, we'll see. You may hear a slight squeak in my chair. It's nothing I can really WD-40. So I actually, in my garage, I'm working on combining 2 old chairs into a single monster awesome chair that should make things pretty smooth in the Lego room. It's got heavy rollers and tight components, so hopefully it doesn't squeak. But I'm doing some serious Frankenstein, Fabifan MKE like furniture action out there. So we'll see what becomes of that. Nitro 9 and the Remembrance of the Daleks. Yeah. I binged all the classic ones. I need to go through and do it again. I've been through Colin Baker stuff a couple times, and John Pertwee is a serious favorite. Like, honestly though, all Doctors are great. I mean, all the doctors are great. I love them for their own little quirks. Patrick Troutman, #2, is like I am so sad that there aren't more episodes of him in existence. Like something happened in the BBC archives and they just didn't make it. But he's one of my favorites. He's got the recorder. He introduced the Jelly Babies. I mean, just so cool. So have you tried switching heads? yeah, it's Davros action going on in the garage right now. Although it's not motorized yet. It's not motorized yet. We'll see what happens. We'll see what happens. I've got some stuff that I could do. But yeah, so what have I been up to this week? And I've been posting on Instagram a lot in the last couple days. But something I haven't posted up there yet, something I've been working on. I have a Batmobile. I've just got the classic Batmobile. Well, you saw it if you tune into the thing where I built, and hopefully it was coming in clear. But this is my evolved Batmobile. This is my MOCK. I took it, gave it a couple upgrades here this last week. Nah, just a couple days ago, honestly. Maybe not even 48 hours ago. But I gave it a V12 engine in the back. I just kind of monstered it up a little bit because this originally was the first Batmobile Lego came out with, and then it's just been modded over like 15 years. So this is the state it's in now. Pretty much the canopy is intact, and that's about it. I switched out their wheels early on for some yellow ones, and then I put those bat medallions in there when they came out with the CMFs for the Lego Batman movie. But yeah, and it's kind of got a battering ram thing looking on the front there. Do I have pictures of every iteration of it? I don't, unfortunately. Early on, I didn't have I wasn't documenting a lot of the stuff I did. So probably a lot of it just went away. But there is a video of the earlier version of it here on YouTube, way back, that I did almost a year ago. Yeah, it would be interesting. So I've got at least the last 3 or maybe even 4 iterations of it documented somewhere. Maybe even 5. Maybe even 5 if I dip into the Gotham City archives. I could find something there. But yeah, I do have documentation of most of the evolutionary changes that went on in my city. That was one of the early things I put on YouTube, and it's like the Debo Bricks trailer or whatever. But you could see this thing evolve from 2006, 2007, where it was started off on a bookshelf to going to a coffee table and then getting massive and then just kind of, evolving. So I've got that down. And you know what? In those pictures there, you're probably going to see the Batmobile in traffic in various spots, because there wasn't a Batcave early on. There wasn't a Wayne Manor early on, because I just had the main buildings kind of going there. Restore it to the original. I could, but the original came with one of those Tennant cannons with the rubber tipped projectile on it, and I had so many of those from that time. I just kind of grouped them together and I made fireworks with them, and I had my fun, and I was I kicked it on to my nephew, all my play function spring loaded things, because he was just getting into Lego at that time, and I'm sure he did some kind of mechanical madness with it. Here's hoping. But he still has that stuff. He's got big tall Sterilite containers stacked up of just shelved Sterilite things. Just taking up an entire wall in his room, just loaded with Lego stuff. He doesn't build as much as I do. He's more of a collector. But yeah, the kid's got some stuff from way back in the day. Probably a few boat hulls and things of that nature. Yeah, sad face emoji. Yeah, but I mean, the thing is, Doc, when I first started doing Lego, my main thing was I wanted to mod most of this stuff to make it look more like something that I felt was a little bit cooler. Because I mean, sometimes when they do a play function, it compromises a lot of things, in the styling of a vehicle or something like that. And I'm an old enough person where I just pretty much put something on a shelf and I can appreciate it there. I don't really fiddle much with play functions, after maybe the first 1 or 2 times, depending on what the play function is. So yeah, I just kind of wiped all that out, and then only like in the last couple of years have I been like getting a set and then keeping it intact as a set, because like they've been stepping their game up. Like they've leveled up seriously. They went from like level 10 to level 59 in like a decade. So yeah, they're really souping things up there. Spare cup. So I've been working on the Nautilus, right? And of course, had to have an antagonist. So we're working on the giant squid. Actually, I think it's pretty much done. I had to get in a couple more bits for the tentacles. So I ended up picking up the, what is that set? It was like the Spider-Man Jet Attack set with Venom. Had like a Venom mech in it because, I mean, of course it had a mech in it. So yeah, it had some of the double-ended mixel joints there that I needed to make the tentacles all proper like. And for the sucker sides of the tentacles, I just left a bare, because you have that open stud on there, and that replicates it pretty well. And then we have 2 articulated ends to 2 of the tentacles there, so you can wrap up somebody and, you know, grab Captain Nemo, try and pull him under. But yeah, everything here is pretty well locked in. It's really sturdy. It changed pretty severely over the last couple of builds on it. Yeah, the Nautilus, we're gonna get to that in a hot second, because this thing just kind of gets in the way. But yeah, I just want to show them here real quick. Got the beak there in the center that is articulated. Fun word, articulated. Yeah, so it kind of goes up and down. And it's like a total of 4 teeth, just kind of bunched together to make it look a little bit more bulky. But I mean, when you look at it straight on, you can see it's just the teeth. But look at it from the side, it just looks like a thicker mandible, right? So yeah, and then for the eyes, I just went, you know, a 2x2 round with a hole in the center. I originally had like the eyes from the Doctor Strange set that came out, you know, the thing that was coming through the wall, like with the tentacles and whatnot, because, you know, but I changed it to that because I wanted like a bigger eye. It needed to look more menacing. And I was kind of looking at Humboldt squid and stuff like that. So like they got kind of big eyes. All right. Portlandia. Portlandia at Lego HQ. Put a mech on it. All right. Multiple headphones just because. All right. Move some things around. I got this eyeball out. I've got a big table of things here to sort through. And I mean, if no inspiration really hits me today, we're just going to be sorting and talking about stuff and maybe talking crap. Maybe talking a little bit crap about the Daily Bugle, because I mean I love the set, but I mean there's some things that could have been better with it, right? Anyway, though, we're gonna get to the Nautilus here. Once I get things switched around here. Down to the build table. The 1 cam. It's up cam and a down cam. All in one, but not at the same time. All right, so the Nautilus. Yeah, I finally got the proportions to somewhere where I think it's pretty workable. I had to drop the cabin here pretty much 1 stud all the way around, so I had to just like take a brick out and rearrange things, do some work on the inside. And yeah, we're still waiting for that 1 brown thing here. But I mean, the black works for now. It's, you know, good enough for me. But I think I got the angle here of that bit. And let me tell you about brick serendipity, right? Like, trust in the brick, because sometimes things just go right. And this is one of those cases. So I'll take this off here so you can see. This is just the spine. It's just a, it's got a couple slopes on there, but it is just an arch with some extra bits. But I've got the old school hinge brick here. Angled right into another plate, so that's like flush, that's not moving anywhere. And then I have this gap here between the lights and the windows just right, so that where it sits right in between these clips, and it seats perfectly. And so it kind of rests a little bit. It's not stressed at all. It sits absolutely flush on that stud, and then it continues into the form up here. And then these little bits, I've been fudging with these a while, and I was trying to find some brown headlight bricks so that I could put the studs in through the back, and finally I found them. So yay. So these have come a long way. And yeah, so everything's just kind of come together on it. Even to the point where all the mechanisms inside are just down pat. So like the hatch here goes all the way back and up. So you have a good area of entry into the under area there. You can even, there's even some steps where you can get a figure in there coming out and up. These cleaned up the area around these little vents a little bit. They come up here. So you can get the oxygen rejuvenation thing going on inside the ship, inside the vessel. And unfortunately, these hatches aren't going to be functional, at least on this model. But, I mean, who knows what the future will bring. So we got that going down, doot. And then the last little bit here, the skiff. I was kind of tearing my hair out a little bit because if you want to use a regular Lego paddle, it's not going to fit in this little skiff. They're pretty long, and then the cover wouldn't come back over the top. So I had to try and come up with a different way to make the paddles for it. So I got the paddle bits that fit right inside that thing there. And it's just a glove clip on a bar. And then you have a hinge plate, and it just fits right on there. And so, yeah, just a nice little oar. And then they're easily broken down and set inside there so it can stow away. Or so you can stow it away. In theory, right? And I mean, ideally, there'd be a way I could just click this in and make it work perfectly. But I think it's at a pretty good spot. So once that piece comes in from Iceland, we're gonna go through the photo shoot to figure out how I'm gonna shoot this long SOB. Roll top, roll back, boom. Yeah, once I figure out how I'm gonna take pictures of this thing, and then we're going to I'm gonna put it on Lego Ideas and try and get the word out and see if we can garner support for a play set size Nautilus that might be affordable to some folk instead of what's obviously going to be a $350 size, full size thing that's not really going to have any play function with it. It's just going to function more as a ship on a shelf, kind of just a model. But this is going to have more interaction to it. So hoping on that. Trust in the brick sounds like an ancient hokey religion. Well, I guess that's true from a certain point of view. Yeah, but yeah, and so I'm trying to work. I'm not happy with what I got going on here with the water. So this is the last frontier for this model. While I'm waiting on that bit to come in for who knows X many days, I'm gonna try a couple different things out here to make it seem like there are some waves lapping around it. Just to kind of give it a place. Just kind of seed it. In reality a bit there. So that's what I'm going to work on now. But not today. That's in the future. But I mean, I can't wait till I get this thing done so I can get it off the table, and it's probably going to end up going downstairs in my non-Lego display case. Just because it's so long and I want to keep it preserved, but I don't really have a good place to put it in the city behind me or any shelf space up here. So I'm going to have to figure out something with that. But the sooner I get that piece in, the sooner that can be done, and the sooner this thing will be off my build table. But yeah, well, I got it here. Let's take a look at how the squid stacks up to it. So that's about the size comparison. The squid could be a bit bigger. I mean, because I think in the movie it's wrapped around this bit here, right? You know what? That actually might be good. That might actually work. So. And then I want to have, I need to find 2 more figures. I need a Conseil and I need Professor Aronnax. And then I'll be fine here because I've got Nemo. I've had Nemo for, decades. Ever since I started getting Bricklink stuff, I was like, oh my God, I can make a Captain Nemo. Because I saw that shirt and it was over, game over. So I got Nemo, I got the first mate. And then we have Ned Land here. So we just need Kansai and Aronnax. And then, yeah, we'll be pretty good. And then there's the decision, do I put like an auxiliary rowboat? Because like when they find the thing, you know, they swim up in that lifeboat that had flipped over and stuff. So there's a couple more considerations I need to take in, but I think it looks all right. I think it looks pretty good. Player display. Yeah. Thanks, Cornado. Yeah, that's what I was going for, you know, because I see so many awesome things go through Lego Ideas. And I mean, honestly, I don't really have a lot of room to speak on this because back in the day, I put a few things in there. I'm responsible for a lot of IPs having that red X when you try and check and see if something is able to go through. So I've submitted things that they didn't even take a look at. But I've also submitted things that have gone through and garnered handfuls of support. So you know, like I've done New York skyline stuff, you know, in the old architecture style when they first started doing architectures, skyscrapers, like the old school. What did they start out with? They had the Empire State Building, Sears Tower, you know, things like that, just more blockier builds. But I had some things like that I submitted that maybe got to 20, maybe 30, you know, people to support. One of them I think got to 12. So yeah, not a lot of love for 40 Wall Street, unfortunately. But the only thing I put in that got any kind of, well, they got the most support would be a Barcelona chair, which was just like maybe a 10-piece MOCK. But it got a little bit of love, got a spotlight by the Lego people, and then it just kind of faded away because I mean that's not going to be an idea set. But this is going to be like to goodness go at putting something in for Lego Ideas with all intention of supporting it and trying to make it become a set. So I pulled out all the stops on it, tried to make it as big as I could, scale for minifigs, and tried to make it pretty much to scale to what you would encounter on top of the water. And all the proportions, getting those down, like I watched so much 20,000 Leagues Over the Sea in the last 3 or 4 weeks. It's just crazy. But yeah, so there's that. That's pretty done-ish. I'm very happy with where it's at. And I'm very happy, like this door mechanism took so long to get perfected that it just comes right down and seals up just like that. I mean, it took a lot of work. And unfortunately, the interior cabin is not interactive. Mostly because it just stores that, and it's a lot of holding this stuff on and in place. There's some wild workings going on inside there. But yeah, so there's that. Syphil and Ollie. Ollie, of course, has been done for a minute or two, or mostly done. So he's all set. Syphil he just needs some more of these green slopes and some green plates to go down the center here, and he's pretty much done. He functions a little bit different than Ollie does. Ollie is mouth open, and then you apply pressure to shut it, which I mean that's about accurate, right? Whereas Syphil takes a little bit more workings. So it's just pressing down here on the back is really all that is. But yeah, so I've made some sock puppets. The pieces should be here soon, like today, to finish him out. And then he'll be a totally green sock puppet, and then we'll have 2 sock puppets and a microphone. And then, it's like the Syphil and Ollie show. And then there's a third main character in Syphil and Ollie, and it's Chester, who is kind of like, I don't know if you call it stagehand, or maybe just more like dude that hangs around and carries cereal in his pocket. But when I was working on that live rebrick last week for the Wild Lions set, the colors are right for Chester. And at one point when I was putting that face together, like I saw Chester in there. So I'm gonna go back and look at the video and see where I found that. So after rebrick this is done, I'm gonna make Chester with that, or maybe I'll just get another set. I don't know. But I did do another rebrick this 2 days ago, and I'll pull that out so we can take a look at it now. Let's see how much this unified chair theory actually works here. All right. Check that out. All right, here we go. So yeah, I made this cat here, which the horns were a last minute thing, honestly, because I figured I wanted those little bar plates up there, and then the clips off those, and then it just kind of from the pieces I had left over at that point. But yeah, so I mean, it's not a mech. It is an organic being, slightly mythical creature, and I just called it a wood spirit. And it's articulated like everywhere it needs to be. We got knees, we got elbows, we don't have wrists. The only thing we don't have wrists. But it's got those thick arms there that kind of work all right for it. And you can see with the hands, just did like those dark red slopes for the 3 fingers. And then we got another slope coming off the back there for the thumb. So that worked out pretty keen. And I'm very happy with it. I like this guy a lot. I really don't want to break it down and make something else. But at the same time, I really want to break it down and make something else because this guy's got a lot of character. The waist there, I ended up using that black ball joint pin so that it doesn't have a lot of friction. Same for the neck here. So I had to support it in the back, just so like, because after a while, maybe, you know, if the weight's off, he's just going to lean back. And when he leans back, it's all over. So that's there supporting him, and then the hips, and then like everything is locked in here. So you can see the lock-in points for the mixel joints there, and that's just so that when they're under stress, things don't pop apart and fall apart in your hands and just go all crazy wonky goodness. But yeah, I like this thing. It's got a lot of character to it. It reminds me a little bit of I don't know if you guys played the video game Ico. It reminds me of this at the same time of Ico and one of the shadow things he's got to fight. So I like this cat. Oh man, I really like this dude. I mean, he could almost. I mean, if it was a robot, he could join the Sentai Robo Snack Foods acquisition group. But I don't know. So yeah, there's that. That's something that's pretty sweet, and it just really just happened. Like I was watching The Nanny. I've been binging. It's sad. I've been binging The Nanny on HBO Max. It's not really sad. Fran Drescher is awesome. So I've been binging that and just making things and, you know, having it on the background. It's you know, snappy one-liners and comebacks and, you know, things like that. So, you know, just classic sitcom comedy with a little bit of an edge to it, but it's fun. So yeah, I'm working on this dude. God, I don't want to take him apart, but if I can't come up with anything else to do for the stream, I'm gonna rebrick him. It's just the way it's gonna go. And coffee. Oh, thanks, Corey. Yeah, like once I get the eyes on these things, they start telling me what to do. They kind of, that's when they get the character and they start you know, inhabiting the build, kind of. And so then that's when things start to dictate what's going where. It doesn't have the greatest greatest stance sometimes, but it works, yo. Talking all this stuff about locking things in and then the ball joint goes out. But yeah, that's just because the ball joint doesn't have a lot of room of motion where I've got it there because I put that fender in. So back and forth, not a whole lot of action there. All right. Yeah, let's see what else I got behind me in this crazy Michigas collection of things. Talked about Batmobile. I'll show it again because Batmobile. Yeah, I like this, yo. It's sleek. It's long. Like it's long like a Batmobile should be. Like Batmobile should not be short. Batman shouldn't really have a bat cart. But let's do a little side by side here so you can see the size comparisons. Length is about right. Wheelbase is pretty similar. Undercarriage. Yeah, like this thing is a brick underneath it, yo. Like nothing's going to happen to Bruce in that. But I do love the old school Batmobile. I do. And, you know, as a kid, it captured my mind. Whoa. Because every kid wants a Batmobile. They just do. All right. Put that back in the garage. Batwing. There we go. All right, and so this is the Batwing that I've had, and like I am not gonna mess around with this thing at all because I think it looks awesome and sleek and like super fast, super stylized. The air intakes on the front there. I mean, I was just in the zone when I made this. Plus, like I had all my black slopes sitting out and set aside, so I had to do something with them. Like that's always the goal with that stuff. Like, because I have too many black slopes and things like that, plates and whatnot. Like that color just kind of accumulates. So whenever I get too much of it on hand, I know it's time to rebuild a Bat vehicle, and that's what happened here. And I had so many of these slopes that like I was able to just nail this. And I mean, it's not based on a previous incarnation. You know, it's just kind of a freeform. What would Batman enjoy, or what would I think Batman would enjoy? So that's kind of what I went with on this. Dual thrust. Yeah. And if there are any armaments or weapons, they're probably hidden up in the side pods here. But yeah, I left that in so it could be like, you know, to your imagination kind of a deal. All right, so I need to come up with something to build. Or we can just talk more smack about the Bugle and the fact that it's missing Electro. There was somebody else that I thought of yesterday who I was like kind of shocked when I realized that they weren't going to be in there. I mean, well, we need a new Rhino for sure. We need a big fig Rhino. That's something I've been waiting for a long time. But it was, oh god, who was it? It wasn't J. Jonah, because J. Jonah's in there. I don't think there's a lizard. We could use a lizard for sure. We need the lizard. We need, was it Kurt Connor? Oh, but there was one that I was thinking of that would just be perfect for the Daily Bugle. Hey, what's going on, Tim? Hey, we're just taking a look at some things. I'm trying to come up with something to build right now, or like a direction to go with this, because I've been knocking out all these little builds in this last week, and just, you know, killing a lot of time essentially waiting for the Daily Bugle to be a thing. So that's coming out Wednesday the 26th. So midnight, I'm going to be ordering it. Hopefully it'll be here in the next 2 or 3 days. So I'll have it over the weekend. And then next week, Monday, starting at 8 a.m. my time Eastern, I'm going to put that thing together in a marathon run. Kind of like I did with the Ninjago City Gardens, but more successful this time. Because it's 2,000 or so less pieces, and I'll be able to get it in one good go. It's a skyscraper. It's going to be pretty easy to get everything just set up in there. Yeah, Punisher and Daredevil, like that makes me so happy. Like the Daredevil figure on its own, it's sad, but it justifies the cost of the thing for me. The massive rebuild the set's going to require, it's going to require some work. Somebody's already figured out how to get that front window from broken to restored with just the pieces that are contained in the set. So I'm not too concerned with that. Yes, I will be building it next Monday on the stream, Tim. I'm going to start at 8 a.m. So I'm going to start at 8 and just go until it's done, or until 5 o'clock rolls around. So was that 9 hours? I'm going to dedicate 9 hours to building it. 4,000 plus pieces in 9 hours. We're going to see if it can be done. I think it can be done. Sure, why not? Yeah, so, I mean, sometimes, well, especially at this point right now, Cornado, with the minifigs, especially everybody that's in the Spider-Man universe that they've released. Like, there are a lot of people that have come up a couple times here. Like, we could have probably done without Doc Ock this time around, because there's a lot of Doc Ocks out there. Carnage and Venom are in everything now. So I mean, just too many. Oh, Doc, you missed the Nautilus? Well, it's a good thing I got it right here on the table. I don't mind showing it again. just fell. I heard a clunk and a tunk and a clatter and a sprinkle. So something fell. But I don't think it's a piece of this. No, it's probably a piece of Batmobile. But yeah, so there's the Nautilus, yo. Captain Nemo in the house. And I've had Captain Nemo for a while because I found that torso back in the day, and once I found that torso, I knew that was it. That's needed to have it. Lloyd Bridges version. Nah, we're James Mason all the way right here, yo. All the way. And is I've I've reworked my Ned Land a little bit. I mean, this is the old Pirates torso, so you turn it around, like he's wearing a striped bib essentially. Because I didn't get that because they updated the torso, I think, for the Barracuda Bay. So I'm gonna have to get down with that. And then we have the first mate there, and he's just an older guy. If I could get something with a little bit more curl in the hair, I would, but I don't think I have that available in like a lighter color because he's had like grayish white hair. And actually, most of the time you saw the dude in a turtleneck, but this works for me. And then I need the Professor and I need Conseil, and then I've got all the figures I need for this. Does it sit in the city edge? It doesn't really sit anywhere right now. It sits on this table until I get the pictures taken for Lego Ideas. And then once that happens, it's probably going to get moved to the basement to the non-Lego display case, which is mostly one-piece figures, a lot of Final Fantasy X figures and stuff like that, die-cast cars, Neo versus the Sentinel from... And there's some McFarlane stuff in there. There's Jay and Silent Bob action figures. It's all kinds of crazy stuff down there. But this will go in there. Lego started invading that case and then pretty much took it over. So I had to get that case out of here. But once I did that, it opened up all this area over here for me to set up for build space, for city display space. So it is what it is. What happened there, but. I mean, it's all for the best, right? Because I got the space now. I got the new tables in. I've got the stuff down there that's separated from this stuff. And plus, like, there's very little in here right now that's not Lego if it's not like a comic book or a piece of electronic equipment. I've got something over here that it's off camera, but sometimes when the camera's pointing this way, you can see it a little bit because I got a Generation 1 Jetfire. I've got Transformers Armada Unicron. As well as some more die casts and some models. And actually, I have a little hallmark ornament of the Nautilus sitting in there. And some older Transformers. Skywarp is in there. And a whole lot of Gashapon. There's Gashapon for days up in there. I wonder how many set ideas like Chitty Chitty Bang Bang and whatnot are always denied because the movie is in the Disney vault. And no merch while it's in the vault. I don't know. I don't think it's that. I just don't think Chitty Chitty Bang Bang has any kind of wide appeal at all. Chitty Chitty Bang Bang is not going to sell as a set. Chitty Chitty Bang Bang is going to sit on the shelf longer than the Coliseum does. That's what's going to happen with Chitty Chitty. Because, I mean, it's going to look like a great set. AFOLs are going to go for it, but it's not going to have much of an appeal outside of AFOLs or 65 plus Disney fans, right? So Chitty Chitty Bang Bang just wasn't going to happen. That's my take on it, honestly. having enough money to decide when to make it, yeah, that's great. But no, I think why the Nautilus hasn't gone through in any of the other ones because it's a full size model of the ship that doesn't really have any interactive function. It's just going to really sit on the shelf and look pretty, which of course it's going to. But it's at a large scale. And they're all extremely intricate. And I believe the piece counts on most of them are what would make this set $300 to $350 if they were to produce it. And I think, like, because there have been a few of them that have gotten 10,000 supporters and gone through, but they weren't really commercially geared. I guess is the way to say it. Because I mean, when you think about something that you're putting in through Lego Ideas, one of the things that pops out to me is like most of the stuff that's successful and goes through are things that are going to have appeal outside of Lego, like a broad appeal. And this has got a classic broad appeal, and it's going to be affordable. Like if I were to put a price on this set for them to sell this, we would be talking probably, I'm thinking 120 to 150 range tops, right? Like you could probably do this for 99 even, because it's just a low profile. I mean, it looks big, but it's really low, or maybe 2 or 3 bricks high in some places. Really easy construction. We're probably under 1,500 pieces here. I'm pretty sure. So that's what I'm thinking, you know, on this. It's just make it affordable and accessible, because that's what happened with like the sitcom sets. Like they make a set, like the stage set, and then it's pretty much just the characters that inhabit that. And so, I mean, even with Flintstones, pretty much the same way, right? So with all of those, it's a really easy thing to take an environmental playset, take a fraction of it, take a piece of it, and then just augment it with the characters, and then, you know, your imagination will do the rest. So I think that's gonna help there. Let's see. Chitty Chitty Bang Bang is one of those movies I saw a million times as a kid, but isn't actually culturally relevant. Yeah, that's true. Although, like, I do have to say, watching this over and over again, almost so many times I can write a thesis on it. It's 20,000 Leagues Under the Sea is still pretty relevant. Especially with the world in the state it is, the environment in the state it is, and a lot of Nemo's messages about cohabitating and existing in your environment, and, you know, not making too much of an impact, and, you know, kind of more of a symbiotic relationship than, you know, just a. Anyway, I'm rambling here. I'm rambling. The inside of the house, Flintstone's house, is pretty nice. It's got some of the, you know, the classic things in there. It's just kind of like a cutaway, so you can almost imagine there's another half of the house missing. I never got it, unfortunately, because I don't know. I think that they could have done better with the set if they would have done like a straight new molded head instead of trying to use minifigure heads for it. Because like Fred's head, like Fred looks like a Sontaran from Doctor Who. Like he's got no neck. There is no neck there, right? So like having a minifigure head that cuts in and has a neck kind of takes you out of it a little bit. Hey, Hooded One, what's going on? Yeah, more compelling name for sure, 20,000 Leagues. Yes, building the Daily Bugle next week, Matthew. I'm starting at 8 a.m. my time, which would be, I think, 1 p.m. your time. And I'm building until I get it done, or until 5 o'clock comes around. But I might even push it past 5 o'clock if I got like one more bag to go. But I'm excited. I'm excited about it. I'm probably gonna, you know, I'm gonna get it. Order it Wednesday. It's probably gonna show up Friday or Saturday. Bust open the box, get all the bags in order. Take a glance through the sticker sheet and the instructions. Kind of get a glance ahead at see things, and I mean there are folks out there who like to savor builds. I understand that. You love the process of building a set from instructions. That's great. I like the final result. I rush to get to that final result. So sometimes I might miss a couple things, but for me, like if I'm building a MOCK, yeah, that's fun. But if I'm working from a set of instructions, it's really just, I mean, waiting to get to the point where you're done. I mean, it's just like a DIY assembly IKEA type thing, essentially. That's how I approach a set. But yeah, getting it as well, you're gonna love it, Matthew. It's gonna be great. I don't know how many Spider-Man figures you have right now, but it's gonna come with a lot. I'm gonna have like 10 or 12 doubles or more after this. Probably about that, 10 or 12. But yeah, so once I get that built, I'm going to take all my Spidey figures from the Yellow Skyscraper. That's back over here behind me, because you can see probably, let's see, from here to 3, there's about 4 floors that are just Spider-Man figures in there. And then the top 3 floors, the penthouse, that's occupied by Unikitty figures. So Unikitty's got the top spot in there, and then like Craven and Shocker and Scorpion and Doc Ock, a couple Carnages and Venom, and an older school Spider-Man. They're all crammed in there. Hobgoblin and Green Goblin. You name a Spidey villain, they're probably in there. J. Jonah Jameson actually isn't in there. Last time I saw him, he was walking around being upset about something. So like he's out on the street with the newspaper in his hand, not looking very happy. Yeah, I already built a Mills plate for it. Yeah, I saw that last night, Cornita. I saw that you mentioned that. And I mean, I would love to build things to a standard, but the standard here is a little bit different. Mostly because, as you can see, it's built up on those like Technic base, so it studs up. So I need the base plate through there. Plus, I can't have a lot of thickness, just because. So what I do is base plate and then a plate layer. So I would like to have 4 16x16s to just give it extra little. Because I've noticed this, it's got a lot of gaps around the edge. Like it's got good parts for the alley. There's probably a 2 to 4 stud width around the entire perimeter of the Daily Bugle build. So if I were to set it on what I have now, the grid system where it is, there might be some extra stress coming on things and it might pop up some of those tiles. So we're gonna see what happens. So glad you can keep the money in your pocket for something else. I understand. But I've ever since I heard about this thing, I heard rumblings about it back in December. So once I heard about that, I started planning and thinking about what I can do to get it in town, and not buying a lot of big Lego sets since then. Like I got the Monkey Kid set, and then I got Ninjago City Gardens just because. I mean, it was at golden after Christmas time, and you got that extra cash, and you have that New Year's optimism, like you're going to be able to change your life and do things the right way finally. So I thought I was going to be able to give up smoking. Hasn't happened yet. And once that does, or at least once I get 14 days in, I'm going to start building the Monkey Kid back. But yeah, those are like the only big ones I got. And then I got that Resistance transport set from Star Wars Galaxy Edge, which is awesome. But I think that's about it on big sets. Mostly it's been like, I've gotten a mech here or there. I've gotten like a $20 or $30 set, stuff like that. I've gotten little storage items, a lot of 3-in-1s, a lot of Creator 3-in-1s, because all of a sudden they're just like, boom. The odd Friends set, just like one Friends set, honestly. It's just a poly bag so I could get Liz. Yeah, the Friends apartment set, like it's awesome for what it is. And if I were a Friends fan, I would be all about that, day one. But like, I don't know. When Friends was on, I had this big hate about Friends. Like, I don't know exactly why. Maybe it was the just the right blend of actors and actresses that kind of turned me off from the whole thing. Definitely more of a Seinfeld person. Seinfeld is still in the works, being developed by Lego. So we will see that. Hopefully we might even see it by the end of this year, but I'm thinking definitely by next year at some point. But yeah, I mean, it looks great. The Friends stuff looks great. The characters are spot on. There's a lot of good shout outs to things that happen in the show, which I haven't watched a complete episode of at any point in time. I actually, when they came out with Lego sets, I was thinking maybe I'm going to get into Friends. Maybe I'm going to watch Friends. And I never watched Friends. So here I am still in that spot. I don't know. And yeah, the space shuttle. The space shuttle is still in the box. Yeah, because I thought about getting the space shuttle. Like, matter of fact, at some point in the last 2 years, I went back and looked at all the previous space shuttle sets that Lego had done, thinking, okay, which one I'm going to get because I want to have a space shuttle. But then I was like, maybe I'm going to have to build my own space shuttle. And so I just kind of put that all in the back of my mind. And then they come out with the big Discovery set. So if you have $200 and a good bit of space to set it, awesome. I mean, and I would love to have it, but I just don't have the space to devote to that because, I mean, it's not a vertical thing. It's a spreading out kind of a thing. All right. Phrasing all over the place today, folks. I'm sorry about this. I apologize. I couldn't imagine a more boring set. Well, I mean, I get that. I get that. I mean, for me, it would be kind of a boring set because you'd set it up on the shelf and stuff. But I mean, for people who really love that show, who want to recreate like certain scenes, certain episodes and things, like it's the perfect foil for that. And so I can't personally hate on that. It just doesn't strike me that way, but I can understand how it would strike other people that way. And I'm so excited for them. So they've got some place to spend their money. That's great. So hopefully people are going to still be able to get the Daily Bugle, because a lot of people are like, oh, Daily Bugle. No, honestly, never mind. I don't think anybody who is going to be getting the Daily Bugle is probably going to be getting the Friends Apartment set. Just an assumption. Who knows though? Built a Hubble? Yeah. I've got Nancy Roman back over my shoulder here, and she's got her little satellite out and stuff. But yeah, I would love to build that. I would love to have a nice place to put the space shuttle, but unfortunately, I don't have a good place. But yeah, I don't have a good place to place the space shuttle. Hydrate. All right, so got a couple choices. What we can do here for the last hour, because how crazy is it that I kind of wrap up the rambling in an hour and then I'm left with an hour to build. So we got 3 directions we can go, and I'm gonna leave it up to chat. You guys can vote, and then I'll forge ahead in that direction whether or not I have an idea or not. So I could do another rebrick. I could do another rebrick of the Wild Line. I could work on a space vehicle, because I have a drawer of stuff set aside for a space vehicle. Hey, Aquamike, back just in time to vote. So the choices are going to be space vehicle, Wild Lion rebrick. Hey, Monica, what's going on? And or Babu Frik. So these are the 3 projects that I have outstanding at this moment. So we got Babu Frik. We have a rebrick of the Wild Lion, and we have making some kind of space vehicle from Shuttle bits that aren't. All right, so we got 1 for Shuttle, we got 1 for Babu Frik. Let's see democracy in action here. Let's see what we can get. Yes, Monica, your build room looks awesome, and I've been jelly since you've been telling me about the area you got to work in there. So Babu Frik, Shuttle. What is the Babu Frik? Babu Frik is well, I got a plush Babu Frik here from the Star Wars Episode 9.
Yep, droid is ready.
That's Babu Frik. It just is a little, like, this is almost like to scale, right? Because he just kind of worked on C-3PO like this, just doing the things and getting it all set. Trying to get the location of Exegol. So yeah, that's Babu Frik. So we got Babu Frik, we got space vehicle. It looks like the rebrick is off the table. All right, so let's see. 1 Frik, 2, 3. 3 Friks. 1, 2, 3 shuttles. Laundry and packing. Oh, that is a whirlwind. That is a whirlwind and a half. Yeah, I'm happy you can stop by for sure. So yeah, it looks like we have a draw between Babu and space vehicle. We need a tiebreaker of some sort. If there is anyone lurking out there who might want to chime in on this, let's see. Well, are we gonna have to flip a coin? We might have to. Oh, Doc's chimed in with Babu. Oh, Monica's kids voted for space vehicle. We're back tight again. So I'm since they're under 18, I'm gonna count Emperor up and the Kevinator as a single vote. We're tied back up again. Well, let's see. All right. Well, let's look at the drawers containing the pieces for each and see if that sparks a tiebreaker vote either way. So the shuttle drawer is essentially the entire Overwatch shuttle. All the pieces were intact for it, plus a whole lot of black slopes, old school shuttle canopy. That's what's in the shuttle thing. Aquamike's mom says, Babu Frik, we might have a tiebreaker. Babu Frik, this is a drawer here, just a whole lot of dark tan and brown, and the beginnings of Babu. So we're working on them, trying to make something there. So yeah, we're going Babu. It's Babu all day. And I've had Babu in the box here for a while, because the eyelids and the eyes were something that just wasn't coming together for me. I'm gonna talk while I pick up all the random debris that's occurring right now. But like things just weren't kind of like I had bits that worked perfectly and I could see where I wanted to go with it, but then I also had bits that just weren't coming through. So like the eyelids, I wanted to do like the Yoda. Like Yoda, where he's got the 3x3 satellite dishes for the eyelids that you can articulate pretty well, because Babu's got big eyes and he deserves something like that. So that was the thought on that. But if you wanted to get like tan, they don't exist in dark tan. They exist in tan, so I could do the face in tan, but they're cost prohibitive, yo. Seriously cost prohibitive. I could find somebody, and they just popped up. I just checked it again. They have them for like $384 a piece, and I would need 4 of those. So that's kind of an investment for the eyes. But I mean, I'm ordering a piece from Iceland just because I got it for 40 some cents. So I go to extremes. So that was a possibility. It could have gone that way. But I'm going to go with dark tan for the colors just because it all kind of works better for me. Like I can visualize the character better that way. So we're going dark tan. All right. Honestly, I should bust out another table here because the Nautilus is just always going to be all up in the way. And some pieces on the floor. Yo, I've got some pieces on the floor for sure. There are like 2 pieces in the kitchen that I haven't been able to find for like 4 weeks. I was able to replace them, but like they're still out there and they're dark gray. So they're going to be tough to find underneath things because I'm sure that's where they went. Stop smoking and I could buy those pieces. Yeah, for sure, dude. I'm working on it, trying. But like, I don't know. Like earlier in the year, I had a good motivation. And I just went with it. And it's probably because Tiffany started to quit at the same time I did. But trying to quit while somebody else is smoking too, like every time you hear them go outside the door to have a cigarette, like that triggers in your mind like the response, like ding. So I got to get that Pavlovian response worked out of my system, as well as just the nicotine in general. So fingers crossed, we're gonna do it. Got to be strong, got to be brave. And stress doesn't help. I'll just say that stress doesn't help. And I mean, like this is an amazing time in life. Like so many things are happening. So many things are like the world is coming back. Like it's almost like the world has been dormant for a while, and now it's starting to blossom again, and everything's starting to happen again. So there's a lot going on. Not to mention the fact that brother wants like a job so I can get out of the house and not have Nora tell me what to do all day because she's a slave driver. All right, so Babu, let's see what we can do. You might just see a little bit of tentacle there holding on in the background. But, all right. So I got a while ago, one of the things I know I wanted to do in here, just if I was going to keep going with this type of eye for them, is I need to make it the pupil pop out more. So I would have to have white hollow studs in there. So I got some white hollow studs. I set them aside, and then that's about as far as I went for a little bit. Got an Oscar the Grouch minifig to meet a minimum buy requirement, and I'm more stoked to receive that. Yeah, Oscar is awesome, yo. Like I do want to have the Sesame Street or Sesame Sesame Street set. But I got no place for it because I know if I would get it, I would want to make it entire Sesame Street, just like the whole thing. All right, so Babu's arms are pretty much good, right? Like there's going to be a little bit more fleshing out of things here. And what I really need to do is get a hold of another of the bride brickheads because they come with a lot of these nice brown slopes and a variety of shades. And it's for $12.99, it's the way to go. As far as the fingers are concerned here, we're pretty well locked in. I've got a bar going through all that to keep it pretty much good. They got some articulation to them. Yeah. So I think Babu's hands are pretty good. His arms need a little bit more fleshing out, but I got to see what I got there. And of course, the back of them. But one of the main things with Babu that's going to set the size off on him is going to be that big visor that he has over top here. So that's something I really need to pin down before we get too much further. But I mean, before I can do that, I got to get the face and the eyes just right. And I mean, I gave the mouth a little bit of an articulation to it. And I mean, maybe I'm hoping too much for that. Maybe I should just have a static face without any functions or features to it. But I don't know. I just don't know. And then along the way, I picked up these radar dishes because that's what I'm using for the the eyelids right now. And Babu is those in dark tan on the inside there. So I got these in lighter tan just to see if it'll work. And I don't have much of a reference right now, so I'm just gonna kind of work from him. But one of the things about Babu's old. I mean, sure, he's small and cute, but dude's old. So he's got this kind of Fu Manchu mustache that's coming around the side here. You can't really see too well on this. So what I did was try to work with the slopes there on the side to kind of give it a hint of that. In the right light, it looks accurate, but I mean, there's a whole lot of shaping and futzing that's gonna have to go on with this. So we're gonna see what we can do there. Another thing too, of course, he's gonna need legs, and so much more. Like this guy is not very far along. And in the movie, it doesn't. Like this is a toy. This is a plush Target toy. That was like $25 that I got because it says.
Remember, go black.
Yeah, that's why I got him. But it's cute as hell. But like it kind of gives you an idea of the color, not necessarily the colors, but the proportions and where what is, and you know, fingers and toes and things. But rewatching the movie again, which I had booted up over here the other night, the visor is like a dark gray with like bare metal areas, so it's shiny in a couple spots where the paint is rubbed off of it. What does he say? It doesn't translate well. It says droid memory go blank, and he says a few things.
Hello, I'm Babu Frik.
It says hello, I'm Babu Frik.
Hey!
Self-explanatory.
Yep, droid is ready.
Droid is ready.
Hello, I'm Babu Frik.
Yeah. So yeah, that got really annoying to Tiffany for like the first week, and then I kind of had to put it away so I could preserve the sanctity of life. Let's see. So for the legs, he's got, you know, two kind of scrawny-ish legs coming down. I'm going to do those in brown. I've got some of the new bonsai bits here. The that macaroni brick kind of. Was thinking maybe I could do something like that from the hips, but if I were to do that, like his hips are going to come out like a gunfighter. Let me grab my Technic thing here and I'll show you. So yeah, this is probably going to be one of those things where sorry, I keep bumping the camera. This is probably going to be one of those streams where we kind of get things figured out on a direction that we're going to want to go, and then the thing's going to have to end. I have to mow this afternoon. Hopefully we won't see thunderstorms until about 4 o'clock, but we'll find out. So take a couple of these, take a couple of these. So if I were to try and put this on here right now, oh, this is not gonna. This does not look right. All right, I'm still gonna show you though. I'm all about showing the mistakes as well as the successes. Glutton for punishment. That's what they call it. So yeah, that would be his leg stance if I were to use those old school macaronis right in there. So yeah, we're probably not going to do that because, yep, I'm just not going to say it. So I got extra pieces for a tree. That's fine. That's fine. But what I'm going to do now is I'm going to take those pieces out. Let's see here so that we can see more of what is on hand here. Let's see, and I think I got 10 of them. So yeah, that's 6 and 10. All right. So y'all is eliminated. The big pile of whatever over here. Yeah, the Nautilus, yo. I'll woo. I'm telling you, making that thing was a dream come true for me. It really was. It still is. So this is kind of more of the stance I'm going for. I'm gonna show you this here with some older legs I kind of worked up for him. And I mean, I could make a skirt that will go around. So his legs are gonna drop down pretty much like that. I mean, because he's standing and stable. And then what I had for feet, because he's, three-toed, I was working with something like this with some ball joints from Bionicle. So, and I mean, that's just more of a placeholder than anything. But I mean, it's about the size that I want to go for feet. I mean, they might go a little bit longer for legs, but I think it's pretty good. I think I'm about right on that. I'll just show you these close up because they're pretty heinous, but it does the trick. Yeah. So that's where we are, Babu. And that's what we got that. So one of the things I got were those hollow studs. And after my last Bricklink ordering something for something and putting it in a different model, I immediately set these aside so that I wouldn't do that. So I went and, because at the time, I didn't have but one spare white 1x1 with hole. And now I got a handful of them. So, and I mean, this is probably going to be a thing, right, where I'm going to get in here, try and work on the face, and then I'm going to realize I'm going to have to redo the entire face from scratch. But this is good because this is getting me starting working on this model again. This was something that, like, I got to this point in like a day or two working on him. So, like, he started to come together pretty well for me. But then I just kind of lost my momentum on him and put him in a drawer. It's sad when it's been so long that you built something that you kind of don't realize or remember how you put that bit of it together. I mean, I've been there, but it's still a heartbreaker. Let's see, how did I get this popped out? There. That. You are attached. Oh, you're not attached. That's what I did. All right. Boom. All right. Eyes. The eyes have it. And this was a method I had never done for making an eye before. Actually, I don't know if anybody's ever done it, and I can certainly understand why nobody would have ever done it. This is half insane. I'll show you here. A little closer up. Okay. So essentially what I have is one of those 4-bar campfire pieces, right? See better there. And it's got that axle hole going through the center. So yeah, that's what I got the the eye set up on here. Now I do have a whole another direction I can go with the eyes. I've got some spare pieces in here that I could use for that, but we're just going to take a look and see what happens when I switch out these darker hollow studs for the white ones. We're just going to see what kind of effect that gets. Work well from a distance? Awesome. And I think it might, thanks. And I think it might even work better if, I didn't drop all the pieces. Wow, that went all the way to the door. But I think it might work well when I don't have light coming through the back of the head when you just look at it straight on. It's probably going to read a little bit better that way. But Lego has not made, there's no Babu Frik minifigure. There is no Babu Frik built figure, obviously. But like this should be in scale with the rest of the big built figure line. So I've got the Porg, I've got the Child, and I've got Yoda, which I showed earlier. And hopefully Babu is going to be in scale with all of that. That's what I'm going for. So the articulation for this mouth is, like I've said, ridiculous once or twice today, but this is for real. Nutso. So we got a mixile ball joint there that the lower mandible is sitting on. And then the upper part of the face is going to attach to that mandible. So it's just going to pretty much be this part that makes the expression. Once I get that right, because that's going to sit up in here. So like putting this thing together is very touchy. Because we're talking clips and bars. Oh my. Okay. And then that's just going to kind of float inside there. So it'll allow for that articulation. You know what? This is actually looking all right. Let's see. Get this locked back in. So that's going to be kind of a axle that can rotate on. The eyebrows. And I don't even know if I'm putting this in the right spot right now, but I think it is. Let's see. Flip. Too far forward. I don't know. That's going to give us a little bit of a range of expression. Let me do this real quick because this might help visualize. Okay, there we go. So yeah, he's sealed off now in the back. So it works a little bit better with the eyes, but the open back allowed me to just push through and open that mouth a bit. Now pieces are just falling down. Oh, we open it back up again. Let's see where things go. I'm telling you, like this is very loose action here. I'm probably gonna have to do a ground up redesign for the head and the face. There you go. Okay. Pop that back on. But I think I got the proportions down. So it's really just going to be a whole lot of tweaking and revamping things. Now, what else I did get for the eyes, for an option for eyes? I've got the 2x2 sliders that have that little brown half moon on them, which are the ones that came with the Child. Kind of see that a little bit, not too well, but just that extra little bit of brown going around the outside. So, wow. Okay, that's weird. So just kind of holding it up here and seeing what kind of space it's going to take up. That's going to be a huge eye. And if I had those 3x3 dishes, like this would work for it. But I still haven't been able to find those. But who knows? Who knows? Maybe this will be a situation where Babu can't be finished for so long that it actually takes, and they actually end up producing a part for it because it takes so long. Essentially, is what I'm going to say. That could happen. It's possible. Although highly unlikely, it is possible. Now let's see. Just a finger. Boom. And I mean, it would be awesome if I could have an articulated head on there, but the way I've got them built up right now, that's probably no go. But I'm probably, you know what, I'm probably gonna do, and this is good for talking out loud and taking a look at things and seeing it on the camera and from different angles. The things that I can change are starting to stand out to me. Ways that I can improve this are starting to become obvious. So one of those things is I could separate the head from the body, bulk up the body, because like the thing I think I nailed here, I think I nailed his chest. Like that, the chest and the belly part, that is spot on. Like for the rest of this whole dang thing, like for nothing else, like this is right where it should be. So that's like a good spot to, you know, focus on, you know, working out from. So in order to do that, I think I'm going to have to create the head as a separate thing here. But I didn't really want to do that because this type of head, as big and brick built as it's going to be, it's going to take a lot of weight. It's going to be heavy. And then to keep that from bowing and not holding its pose is going to have to be a bigger, stronger ball joint with fresh friction on it. So we're going to see about that. So we're going to get down that road. But this is the bin, and this is the method I've been using for making builds and MOCs and things, especially things that I know what colors I want to use for, stuff like that. Just taking and isolating pieces that I know I want, like the colors that I know I want, and then that gives me a nice palette to work with. And then I can use those pieces, or I can not use those pieces. And if something is hidden enough within a model, I mean, you can put any color in there, really, just as long as you've got the piece that you need. So I've got a lot of nice brown, reddish brown that held over from the Nautilus here. Like all the leftover Nautilus brown has gone in here, except for what I used on this big tree that I'm working on. So yeah, I got dark tan in here, and I got various plates and stuff. So all right, well, let's take a look. And the other option for the eyelids too, rather than using the dishes, is to do a brick built eyelid, right? But like they would have to be kind of massive. And I got a couple ways that I could do that. I don't know if I actually have the pieces in here to make that. But there are these one bits. Is that lime? No, that's dark tan. No, that's lime or olive. Why did I say lime? Colors, fruits, vegetables. Yeah, that's my excuse. So, like in my mind right now, I'm seeing a perfect piece that would work okay if I wanted to do like the 2x2 eye, and that is there's a slope that it's the 45-degree slope that kind of tiles out on top, so it kind of loops over. And so if I could get four of those and 2 on each side, you know, that make a nice eyelid that will pop out. You know, something not this really, but close. Will come over the top and it, you know, be something you can articulate pretty well. But he's a bit flat. Yeah. I'm separating that body, and that chest is gonna have to bulk out. And then like what he's got kind of a cowly neck action going on around here, which is a little bit more rough in the film than this little plush shows. I mean, it's a plush, right? So I'm thinking once I go back through and separate, once we go off with his head, that's going to allow me to set that head back a little bit more and, you know, centralize the chest a bit, maybe pop that forward just about 1 plate, which is going to be pretty good. Yeah. So another thing I need to do is work on that visor, but like there's a certain order of operations when it comes to doing these MOCs. Like you see something that has to be fixed and something that has to be worked on. And that's kind of where you have to start before you can work on the other things, because everything else is dictated by what you do there. All right, Babu. Wow. We're going all the way back. We're taking them apart, folks. You saw it here. Well, you're gonna see it. And I mean, I've been getting into locking in things lately with brackets. That's been my new shtick. It's just something fun to figure out how to do and where to get it on there. And I mean, the more you have something locked in with brackets, the less you're going to have to worry about things exploding while you're trying to build. But you know, as my philosophy is, if like you're working on a build and it's exploding on you, you're getting closer to its final form. So it's always a good thing. And it has helped me to be able to laugh when that happens versus, you know, like, oh man, I got to pick all this up. It's just going to happen. All right. So I'm deplating in here. Yeah, he is a bit flat. Faux show. But I have episode 9 in the PlayStation right now, queued up to the spot where they're talking to Babu, and he's working to get the memories out of C-3PO. And while we're on Star Wars, I just want to make a little aside, because there's been a long debate about AT-AT or AT-AT, things of that nature. And it's a little bit overdrawn. I just want to say they're just vehicles, folks. Don't get in a pinch. At cat AT-AT. I mean, the ATST is the ATST. I mean, it's not the ATST, but I call the AT-AT the AT-AT. But a reason or something that reminded me of that recently is I was looking at some really old like Kenner catalog stuff from like way back before the first movie even released, when they already had the figures like teased and stuff. And a lot of folks don't remember this, but I remember this. Like the original old school packaging for these, like for R2 and for C-3PO, it didn't say R2D2 like the number and letter designation. They spelled it out. It was ARTOODETOO, and C-3PO, yeah, it was like CEETHREEPIO. And that's old school. Atst, yeah. But I mean, you know, it's all whatever it is, you know, whichever terminology honestly works better for you. George Lucas doesn't care. He's got his billions. He's resting easy now. All right, so separating the head, the body for Babu actually looks pretty solid here, right? So, and I've got that ball joint from earlier there all set, but I'm gonna have to change the height on that, I think, a little bit. So we're gonna see what's gonna happen there. Plus the skirt's gonna be fleshed out and going around. I like the way I got his lats going there. Yeah, that's the thing with Babu and like builds like this is it takes a whole lot of figuring out, a whole lot of mind work. You got to squeeze your mind grapes, try and get the most out of them. And let's see here, still have that articulable bit there. Although since it's not going to be sitting on that ball joint, I can get this mixel bit off. All right, so we're going to be working at about this size for the head. Okay. Boom. What did that have down here? Just trying to reconstruct best as I can. Whatnot and wherefore here. Just to figure out where to go and do the jazz from this. That was not what I was thinking. Face. inside there, we could do top clips. You know, all right, we could do tile, bar plate, top clips. Oh, I wish I had more clean tables right now. I really do. Doing the ballet here with the boxes is never fun. Okay, let's see. I'm gonna do that. Then I'm gonna have to secure this pretty well to the back, but we'll see how that works. Might not even need to put that tile in, but nope, I think I might. Yep. Okay. That there. Yeah, I'm gonna need that tile. What do we got? Nope. Of course not. Get out here. No, of course not. And my tiles are now in a cup, and they are like way directly behind the screen right now. So I'm trying to figure out a way to work around so I don't have to do the old leave the camera thing. Okay, so tiles will zoom. Let's try this. One by ones. Okay. It's gonna work, but the tiles will be better. Hey Alexander, what's going on? Yo, yeah, we're working on Babu Frik. We took a vote, and Babu Frik came out on top. It was between Babu, a Rebrick, and working on a shuttle of some sort. I don't know. I know you probably would have voted for the shuttle, but I mean, who knows? You might be a closet Babu Frik fan. I mean, right now, all Babu Frik fans are closet Babu Frik fans because they don't have any way to show their love through Lego. But I digress. All right. Where was this piece? There was this piece. All right, just to get a little continuity here. Then anchored here. This connection isn't great. This connection really isn't great. But I'm thinking something must have fell off this earlier because I don't. No, that's where that goes. Okay. Didn't have a whole lot of articulation on those. Yeah, Babu, yo. Babu is just like I've had Babu like set aside to work on from the beginning of the year. But it's just like so many other little projects have come along and all the challenge builds and whatnot and stuff. He just he took a back seat for a long time. And actually, if you don't follow me on Twitter, that's okay because nobody really does. But I took a informal straw poll on Twitter to see whether I should work from box A or box B. Well, box A had Babu Frik. Box B had the Nautilus. So box B got taking the completion. Now that that's done, we're going back to box A and working on Babu. So there he is. Got the mouth slightly articulatable. Let's see. Yeah. There you go. Like if he looks like he's saying hey, you're on the road to Babu Frik. Okay. Let's do this just so. Gonna put kind of like an informal placeholder in the build. Probably not gonna be part of the permanent finish structure, but just so I know what has to happen here. So I just got that little mixable receiver there on the bottom. Looking good. Thanks, MOCkery. I mean, this is going to be too far forward, so I'm going to have to definitely move that mixel to the back a little, just a hair. But yeah, he's going to lead. He's going to need a lot more friction on there.
Good. Remember to go black. Black, black.
Yeah, he's getting there. He's getting there. Oh, the Duplo Dragon. Yo, if Hooded One, if you can get a good price on it. I was enchanted by that thing when I saw Holly bust it out the other day. Yes, get it for sure. Because Dragon like that's being system, or one step away from being in system. I mean, that's a must get. All right, so we're definitely going to need a lot more friction on here, or barring having more friction, we're going to need to kind of wedge this into place a little bit. But we're not going to end up using the ball joint at that spot because we're going to have to move back a hair. So let's deplate the torso just a hair. How many times am I just going to repeat myself today? Like just a hair, do this, da-da-da. We shall see. I've only got 15 minutes left, so we can see how many more times I can say just a hair in the next 15 minutes. But you know what? I think just a hair might be an episode of a Bugs Bunny episode. I could be wrong, and I probably am. But it would be prime for it. All right. There we go. That'll work. All right. Placeholder. Boom. And I'm going to throw the green back in here just because boom. How far back, Babu? That should be good. That in there. Okay. Lock it in so it doesn't just like disintegrate on us. So we moved. I've moved the plate back 2 plates. 2 plates. Yeah, that's okay. I can work with that. I can live with that. That's good. Need to get packing? All right, Monica. I hear you. Yeah, as soon as I'm done here, I need to get mowing so that I don't run the risk of dying in an electrical storm. I mean, of all the ways to die, I never would have seen myself getting electrocuted by lightning. Drowning, sure. Just because there's been a big fear, but electrical storm, that is not on the bingo card. Okay. Just lock in a little bit better here. And I don't have a 1x3. Yeah, I could use one of those big Technic ball joints, but I don't have a good way. Actually, as I say that, like I'm talking through like how I'm actually going to do it. Is Brickanista here? Hey, Brickanista, what's going on? Things are happening. Things are going down. We looked at the Nautilus there earlier, seeing everything on that. Now we're working on Babu Frik to see how much further we can get with him. And so I'm digging into my big ball joints. Just gonna stop talking after a certain point, just because nothing is coming out clean. They're somewhere hidden in my big bionicle bit here. Nautilus look awesome. Thank you. I do want to give a shout out to these old school wheels here from Robo Riders. I have a small collection of them going on. Like you can get these from most stores for like 3 cents each. All right, so let's see. We've got this kind of a joint we could use. It's click hinge. That's a possibility. It's not going to be too clean, though. I know I've got some ball joint receptors in here left over from the Mighty Dinosaurs. But I just need a solid ball joint to ball joint to brick, ball joint to studs. And a lot of my ball joints are actually in the basement right now because they are. I have a small army of robots down there. I got about 10 or so, and they're using a lot of my big ball joints. Yeah, it's the Sentai Robo Snack Foods acquisition. They exist to go back in time and to hasten the extinction of the dinosaurs, to provide more fossil fuels so that they consume them in the future, hence snack foods. Sorry, that's a long way to go for a silly explanation on something. All right, so I got that. This is probably not going to work too good. I got the double bit there. I've got a sub bit in here. I've got a couple of these old solid stanchions that I picked up on the cheap. Got this ball joint, which is that's a fun one. It's got a ball right in the middle. It's like a Hero Factory thing, I think. Like Hero Factory and Bionicle, you throw them together, you got some wildness. But like a lot of this is just stuff that I got on the cheap, and it just kind of all went into here. Plus a little bit of old things I've broken down. So I'm not really finding any good ball joint options within this. That's okay. That's okay. I think I can figure out a good way to use that ball joint that I have on there right now pretty much in just a single axis. So I'll be able to use some tiles or something on the bottom, or build some flush plates and bricks with the ones on top, and then just have that so there's not a lot of wiggle room for it. So that's the route I'm going to eventually go down on that. Store that back away. Yeah, so we're, like I say, we're probably not going to get very far on this build today. I mean, the build is pretty far along. But this is just more of a, where do we go next with this, right? What is going to be the solution to move this thing forward? So I think Monica's next solution kind of did the trick. And as far as the visor goes up here on top, it's going to have to be, I think, 4x6 or longer, but certainly not wider. I got this brown plate, this brittle brown plate. We'll see if I can not jack it up. We'll just throw some black slopes on there just to see how that looks. This is kind of like the Bob Ross of mocking. Yeah, we're gonna put a happy little tree in here, and maybe a cabin lives over on this ridge. Yeah, and it's got a nice little path down to the brook. And then we got some happy trees. Some happy trees over here. Yeah, just about like that. Yeah, that's it. Okay. And this bin is my most used bin. It's the clips and bars. And I am in this thing all the time. This is why it's out and ready and accessible, because nothing that I build does not have clip and bar. Is that the correct amount of negatives that I hope the sentence came out right. Anyway, everything I build has clip and bar. Let's go there. There we are. To a certain extent, except for Thanos. Thanos doesn't have clip and bar because it was just a brick built thing like that. But right now, I just want to kind of get a hingy bit thingy whatnot going down, just to kind of tack this thing in place and see how it looks. So, best way to do that, there. Let's try this here. let's see what we get. Let's see where we're going. Got about 10-ish minutes left. And I mean, this can be moved up and down. And like I say, we're just tacking this in. We're just kind of attaching it lightly, just to see how the proportions play out. I think, yeah, it's probably going to have to go a little bit further up for the visor. Clips and bars separated? Yeah, I got clips and bar separation going on serious here. Clips and like this is all just top clips, and then horizontal or vertical side clips, horizontal side clips, two stud long side clips, one stud top clips, gloves, everything. Like, yeah, everything in here is in its own little special space, and then there's even an auxiliary bit in another little bin. Just because clips and bars are my cup of tea. Okay. Give me a woman. Don't think I have. Well, let's see. All right. Brown. Brown. There we go. There. Right, so this is just going to raise that up by 1. Some folks at Lego call it a module. I guess if you're a designer and you're looking at a top down on a thing, like the one stud distance around things, it's like a module. So it's like a basis of measurement. Sometimes I say it. Sometimes I just say stud. But a lot of times it depends on where it's actually going and what it's doing. That doesn't work great there. That's not fun. Okay, so moved it up by 1 module. That looks a little bit more like if I could right now, I'd boot it up on the opposite screen and take a look side by side. And I got some reference stills on the computer and things. So yeah, we're going along. He's working it out. He's doing his thing. He's a happy guy. And yeah, the toes and the toes and the fingers. The fingers are good. The toes and the feet are going to need some more work. Of course, we're going to need to thicken the body considerably, as well as the head, make it more rotund, like a good head should be. And look at the feet. Probably do some color swapping on the forearms and things like that. But I think the length of the arms and the basic proportions of everything are, just about down. So yeah, and I'll be able to wedge this in pretty tight, so we can get maybe just a little bit of movement along this axis, but then pretty good freedom left and right. And that's kind of what I want. I mean, you don't need Babu too much doing the lilty head set, tilting it to the side type of thing. But yeah, it looks pretty good. I think it's pretty good. And we got him to a place now where I can't really go much further without tearing up the entire thing. And making a complete mess out of this and needing to get into a lot of the other stuff I have down there. And I need to get the Nautilus out of the way. So we're going to hope that in the mail today we get well, at least the Cephalonali stuff. And then we're hoping for that last little bit to come in from Iceland, and then we got everything for the Nautilus. I can take photographs, then I can go set it someplace and have it look nice and not be in my build space anymore. Unfortunately, probably very soon things are going to have to go to the bedroom headboard, because that's that's going to get me in real trouble. That's going to sink my ship faster than D4. But so yeah. Thanks everybody for stopping in today. Just the one bit from Iceland is still taking a while to come through. Thanks, Tim. Yeah. This is it's like my favorite little Star Wars character. I love Babu. And when I saw this over at Target, I was already well in the process of making him, but I was like, oh my God, he says the phrases. So I had to get him, and
Hello, I'm Babu Frik.
yeah, he's just cute as all get out. And like the trend with the buildable Star Wars Lego figures lately has been cute as all get out, right? They just came out with R2. They had the Child that came out last year. They have Yoda. There's BB-8. There is the Porg, of course. There's now Dio. Dio's pretty cool. I kind of want Dio, but I'm kind of on the fence because I'm like, I'm really running out of space. Can I put Dio out somewhere? So yeah, it talks. Yeah. This one talks. This was like 25 or I think $25 at Target, and like I went into Target the day before. They didn't have anything like that that's out there. Then that next day I went in, and he was on the shelf. I was like, oh my God, he's so cute. I need him. And I think this was about the time I was kind of scouting for Looney Tunes figs. Maybe a little bit sooner than that. But yeah, he says pretty much everything that Babu says in the movie. All of his lines are in this single thing. He doesn't have a lot of lines, but he's just cute as awesome, and he's so cute. Yeah, I'm not forming phrases now. I need to get food in me, and I need to hydrate and start making space in here and get some pieces done and get some lawn mowed. He's excited about it, so we got that going for us. But yeah, thank you so much, everybody, for tuning in today and checking things out. And I'm not Minecrafty today, right? This is so awesome. I was able to broadcast with just a hint of resolution. Yeah. So yeah, I checked my bandwidth and everything before I started broadcasting today, just in case I needed to reboot everything to get it working right. I could go ahead and do that. Thankfully, I didn't have to do that. And we'll see. Like maybe it's just the weather, because it's a little bit cooler out today, and atmospheric conditions are a little bit rumbly and getting all around and whatnot. Yeah, resolution is looking good. Thanks, Rick and Nixon. Yeah. So just a quick recap and bring everybody who may have stopped in late up to speed. Beginning Monday, because I'm going to be ordering it Wednesday night. Monday, 8 a.m. Eastern. That is 5 a.m. Pacific. That is 1 p.m. UK time. I'm going to start building the Daily Bugle, and I'm not going to stop until I get the entire freaking thing done. I'm going to take the weekend and get the bags in order, take a look at the instructions, just to kind of give myself a little bit of a heads up as far as like pacing and direction is going to go on the thing. And then, I'm just going to start building, and I'm not going to stop until it's done, because this skyscraper, it's going to go quick. It's going to be awesome. And I kind of want to share the experience with y'all, because I know folks out there really love the building experience when it comes from sets. With me, it's more of a chore to get it done to enjoy the final product. So I like to share it with people who can truly appreciate it. Whereas me, I'm just a barbarian who just like runs roughshod over everything. So yeah, we're going to be building that and taking a look at the figures, and everything is going to be awesome there. So yeah, 5 a.m. Pacific. Yeah, but it's going to go to 5 p.m. My time. So that's going to be 3 o'clock Pacific at least. So you can stop in at any time in that point. Now I'll be right in the depths of the build, for sure. With the occasional stepping out, I do have to make a new "Be Right Back" sign, so we'll see about doing that. But yeah, if you didn't catch it, my first marathon stream, I tried to do the Ninjago City Gardens all in one sitting, and it took a couple sittings. But I have much more faith that I can do this with the Daily Bugle, because it's 2,000 some pieces less, plus a straightforward construction of a building type that I'm very familiar with. So thinking this is going to go pretty well. We'll see. Or it could be an epic fail. And if that's the case, all the more reason to tune in. Like, if I fail, I don't half-ass it. I whole ass it. Yeah. So that's where we are. We got the Nautilus going. We worked on Babu Frik today. We took a look at the Invisible Jet, the Thanos mask. This is suggested by Aquamite TV. Thanks again. We took a look at my Rebrick This build, the little wood spirit that I worked on. I did a little Batmobile comparison, did Batwing look at. Like, this was kind of more of a DC / Star Wars centric build day today. So I may come down more on the side of Marvel, but I'm a huge Batman fan, and like Batman like pretty much encompasses DC for me. Like I've said it earlier this week, like DC is Batman's world, and all the other characters are just living in it. That's just the way it is. Yeah. Superman is going to come after me now for sure. But yeah, DC needs love too. Well, Batman needs love, and everybody else in there is just there to obey what he says, and get the occasional reprimand from Gordon. But I mean, Superman, Flash, Aquaman, they're like side characters to Batman. In my opinion, because if you look at DC and you look at a Batman centric, it's a lot more appealing to me that way. But yeah, so thank you everybody for checking things out. Thanks for sticking with us. Thanks for taking the vote and pushing me in the direction of Babu Frik, because I really need to get back in Babu. And now that we've got that momentum going on him, and I've got nothing to build for the next week or so, I'm going to be working on Babu. And I hope to have him to a spot on Monday where I can show him off occasion and be like, look at Babu, I made him awesome, he's so cool. Or I'll be like, look at this massive failure that I failed to deliver on. So we'll see what happens with that next week. But yeah, check in Monday. Like, I'm going to be doing this all day Monday and be building that entire thing. So check in, bring snacks, bring drinks, bring something to smoke. Do whatever you want to do. We're going to be building, and it's going to be wild. So thanks for everybody for tuning in. Syphil and Holly are going to be done by Monday too, so that'll be another thing. And you see me on Instagram. I got my stuff on there. We're doing the Rebrickable, me and Brickanista, #Rebrick this June 21, Wild Lion Set 31112. And I'm also on Twitter. I'm doing less and less mainstream things on my Twitter feed. So if you want to see like work in progress stuff and just weird, nonsensical visual puns, that's kind of the route I'm going to go on Twitter. So I'm Debo Stoker on Twitter, but you can also find me on Debo Bricks on there too. But yeah, so thanks everybody for checking everything out. Monday we're going to be back and doing more things. Hopefully Monday streams are going to be continuing at that time. If ever job thing happens and I need to change that, I will let everybody know. But thanks so much. I'll be making more videos and stuff. And Monday, Bugle, be here. It's going to be awesome. J. Jonas Jameson is going to be here in the plastic flesh, and everybody's going to be tearing their hair out. That's going to be great. Stop on by. Thanks, everybody. See you then.